The film opens with a dream experienced by a man named Conrad. In his dream, Conrad was seen making love with his girlfriend, Lauren, on a horse farm. Not long after that, Conrad woke up and immediately prepared to leave for work. Conrad worked in a marketing office headed by his older brother Lauren named Max. This Max actually doesn't like that Lauren is dating Conrad. So he often pranks his sister's boyfriend by giving a lot of work until he has to work overtime. That night, in the middle of the night, Conrad is called by Lauren, who reminds him that they have an appointment for a party. The party was a welcoming event for Ethan's friend Lauren, who had just returned from America. This Ethan already has a girlfriend named Mara. To celebrate the return of Ethan, held a very lively party. Unlike Lauren, who looks happy to be in that place, Conrad the boyfriend was even uncomfortable. Fortunately, Lauren was the one who paid attention, so he invited Conrad to be alone in the empty room. It turns out that not only Max dislikes Conrad, but also most of Lauren's family. Lauren's family, who are wealthy, feel that office workers like Conrad are not on the same level as them. Therefore, Uncle Lauren eager to match his nephew with an acquaintance who is a successful businessman. But because she loves Conrad so much, Lauren always refuses to be matched with other men. Long story short, Easton, who just returned from America, bought a house and asked Lauren to design a room in his house. He, whose status was richer than Lauren, said not to make a fuss about the cost. He will pay whatever the result is satisfactory. Behind the messy relationship between Conrad and Lauren, there is a problem that has always been their debate. Despite dating for 7 years, Lauren still does not want to get serious with Conrad, even though her boyfriend has often asked her to get married and have children. It was this problem that made Conrad so doubtful about their relationship. One day, Max suddenly puts a new person in his office who will become Conrad's competitor, so that his position was not taken by a man named Ren. Conrad had to work even harder. The problems in the office ended up being carried away by Conrad, who stopped by Easton's house that night. Together with Lauren with a gloomy face, he interrupted Lauren and Easton's conversation. Easton, the owner of the house, is curious about Conrad's problem. Conrad then briefly describes what happened in his office. Unexpectedly, Easton even offered Conrad to cooperate with him. Easton also added that if Conrad wants to open a business, just contact him. Although this Easton looks gentleman, there is something strange about the way he treats Conrad. Despite their contrasting natures, Conrad and Lauren apparently had similar dreams. Conrad wanted himself and Lauren to make out with one other woman. Meanwhile, Lauren wants the presence of one more man while he is making out. With their somewhat perverted desires, Lauren finally conveyed to Mara, Easton's girlfriend. And Mara introduced a girl named Emmy. He has a high-flying hour in bed. Lauren thinks that if he wants to fulfill his dream, he must first please Conrad. Therefore, Lauren asked Emmy for help to satisfy Conrad's lust together that night. Having spent an unusually beautiful night, Conrad was so overslept. As a result, he was late for work and his presentation today was replaced by Ren. In the midst of his frustration, Conrad even contacted Emmy and asked her to make love again. The girl immediately agreed. On the other hand, Lauren tried to persuade to help Conrad. Lauren, knowing full well that Conrad is not comfortable with his job, asks Easton to help his girlfriend open a business. And in return, Lauren will give Easton a special offering, the opportunity to make out with him. Of course, an offer that is difficult for Easton to refuse. After receiving a reward in advance from Lauren, Easton immediately contacted Conrad. Without further ado, the rich man said he would invest whatever Conrad needed. He added that he only needs people who can be trusted. One day, Conrad and Lauren invited Max to dinner together in a restaurant. In the middle of the conversation, Rin suddenly appears, Conrad's rival in the office. It turns out that the man was also invited by Max, who openly wanted to set him up with Lauren in front of Conrad. Conrad became emotional and left. Here, Lauren is not consumed by the seduction of Rin, who wants to take his heart. After that, Lauren stopped by Emmy's house. Here, Emmy admits that she and Conrad have made out once without Lauren's knowledge. Upset, Lauren returns home to find Conrad waiting for him. Conrad is secretly dating another woman in a hotel room. Once Conrad's office held a gathering at a resort where they had fun playing games together, but the joyous game turned tense when Max mocked Conrad's defeat and Conrad hit Max and resigned. Besides Lauren, the person who was always there for Conrad was Issen. He again offers cooperation with Conrad, and this time without thinking his girlfriend Lauren immediately accepts. And their first project was with Emmy. It turns out that Emmy is an entrepreneur who has several businesses affiliated with Istem. Because it so happened that they already knew each other. Issen, Conrad and Emmy also celebrate this collaboration by making out in threesomes. Conrad then returns home feeling guilty. I'm not sure how to explain it to Lori. Therefore, the next morning Conrad took the initiative to get up early and make breakfast for the girlfriend. Today Conrad came to his office Max to pack his things. There Conrad humiliates Max by saying that he has already cooperated with Emmy. For your information, Max is very eyeing cooperation with Emmy's company. With twinkling eyes, Conrad recounts his success humiliating Max to Issen. They both believe that their business will be successful beyond Max's business. One day Conrad speaks to Lauren expressing his suspicions about Issen being of the same sex. Lauren also corrects it by saying that Issen can like men or women. In the end, the two lovers didn't mind, and still come when Issen invites them to his horse farm. Here it appears that Issen's wealth is not kidding. When there is an opportunity to talk alone with Issen, Lauren warns him not to mess with Conrad. It doesn't matter if Issen has a crush on Conrad, as long as he doesn't trick him into doing business. Suddenly at dinner, Lauren proposed why they didn't make out just the three of them. Despite having done it together, Issen, Emmy and Conrad still seem shy to Lauren. When Lauren was already asleep, Conrad approached the Istem again alone. Conrad tells us that he was once approached by a man. Although the man is nice, Conrad still rejects him because he is still normal. Issen finally admitted that he could go both ways. Which means he has an interest in women or men. This open mutual attitude made it easier for Lauren to be able to seduce the three of them. But when that moment happened, Conrad was still not ready and finally left in a furious rage. He felt played by Issen and Lauren. The two of them had no such intention. With great emotion Conrad returned to the city with Lauren. Along the way Lauren tries to calm Conrad down. Although their last meeting was less pleasant, Conrad and Issen keep working together. 6 months passed. Their business was really successful. Now Conrad is a boss who can live well and his clothes are expensive. She's still dating Lauren. In the end Conrad was able to accept his girlfriend's adventurous instincts. At the end of the film, Conrad, Lauren, and Issen are planning a threesome. I do not know how many times they have done it and the movie is over.